Lo is the co-host of Lady Lovin', a Shorty Awards Best Podcast nominee that's powered by women for empowering women. Right up our alley. She also shares her thoughts on entrepreneurship, wellness, and food on her website, thelowdown.com, and she's a UCLA grad. So come on up here, Lo.
Here I am.
Sorry, can I squeeze past you? Sorry.
Hi, guys. How are you?
OC native, too.
Hi. This is so beautiful. All these colors.
Have a seat.
I should have worn pink.
I know.
Hi.
But you did wear one of the brands from here.
Yes.
The Deegan Voltaire, those
Yes.
cute leather pants.
Yes.
You can shop them.
I'm getting ready for fall in my pants.
I love it. So thank you for being here. I know you're so busy. You've got your business. You've got all kinds of things going on. You live in New York. Thank you for coming.
This is home, right?
I know.
It's so nice.
I know. So I guess let's start off with your journey. Can you tell us, you started on the Laguna Beach and the hills to boss entrepreneur and founder of Love Wellness. Can you take us through this last decade?
Sure. Yeah. Wow. I can't believe it's been a decade. So I'm sure a lot of you are from around here. I'm from around here too. MTV obviously came to Laguna Beach High School when I was 15 or maybe 16, and the OC was on at the time. Do you guys remember that show with Misha Barton? And it was so cool. It was so popular. And we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into, and I'm sure if you guys are locals, you know the story to a certain degree. We kind of thought it was going to be like a 1-hour episode of that True Life show that was on MTV, like True Life, I'm from Orange County. And it didn't turn out to be that, obviously. But we weren't expecting it to become what it became, to become somebody who people know. Honestly, it makes me a little uncomfortable that people know who I am. I've never really been good at dealing with attention like that. And probably in a lot of ways, after you fast forward kind of through my time on TV, that's a big reason why I moved to New York, honestly. I was trying to kind of get away from not the limelight, because I don't want to be like, oh God, I was like so cool, but because I wasn't. But I
get stopped places and people know you.
Yeah, and I was really young, and I didn't really know how to deal with the attention at the time. It was really uncomfortable for me. And so I moved to New York when I was 25, about 2 years after The Hills ended, and I moved there to kind of start my life over again to a certain degree. And I knew that I always wanted to run my own business, and I felt like it was a really good place for female entrepreneurs at the time. A lot of businesses were getting funded, specifically women-run businesses, and I was the co-founder in a tech startup that failed, but...
I remember that.
Yeah.
You spoke at our New York conference about that.
Yes.
Yes, that was a great idea, too.
Yeah, and failure is a really important part of life. The only way you grow and get better is through your failures, right? And that business didn't go very well, and that is kind of when I started to do work in the influencer space, and it was really new at the time. There were not a lot of influencers, not like there are now, and the space has grown in really interesting ways. I was doing it because I liked beauty tutorials on YouTube, and so that's what I first started doing. And I went to culinary school when I was living in New York, which was a really cool experience. And I started making weekly videos about being in culinary school, and I would write blog posts and share recipes and stuff like that. And so that's how I really sort of started talking to people again and kind of putting myself back out there. Fast forward a couple years, I had a really bad health scare. I was like totally fine one day, and then the next day I was dealing with some really bad depression and anxiety. I've never had any issues like that in my life, and it's like I reached this tipping point where one day I was okay, and then all of a sudden I wasn't okay. And it was through that experience that self-care and health and wellness became really important in my life, and I wanted to make it a priority every day. And it turns out after about 1.5 years of searching and trying to figure it out, and just kind of to a certain degree accepting that, okay, this is the new me, I got some random test results back from a doctor's appointment, and it turns out that I was suffering from severely deficient vitamin levels. And through more research, I learned that I had a gene mutation that prevents my body from absorbing certain vitamins from food sources. And so that was really sort of the underlying cause for me to be so unwell. But it was only because I really took my health into my own hands that I was able to discover what was wrong. And through that whole experience, I decided to launch Love Wellness, which has been in business since the end of 2016. And we're opening an office in New York, and I'm hiring a team right now, and the business is growing, and it's really exciting.
That's amazing. So tell us more about Love Wellness.
Sure. So Love Wellness provides women with safe, natural, doctor-recommended self-care products. We started in the feminine health category or vertical, and we relaunched the business in August, just about a month and a half ago. And we launched with a bunch of new ingestibles, so vitamins that are as natural and as organic as possible. And so we have expanded into these different categories. And really the mission of the business, for me personally, is to create a more proactive and open self-care culture. I feel like a lot of women feel like they can't have these conversations. We've been taught since we were young that, our bodies are like dirty and shameful. And, really we're just trying to take care of our health. And I think that's a huge part of the business, is to tell women that it's okay to want to have products that are good for you, that are natural, that are safe, that you're not afraid to or embarrassed to have in your house or in your bathroom. So we're really trying to provide women with a unique solution in market.
That's amazing. And as women, especially moms or busy entrepreneurs, it's like you put everyone first except yourself. So I can imagine how many doctors you probably went to try to figure out what was wrong. But that's good that you took the focus and really, figured out what it was, because, to just accept, okay, this is how I have to live the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think that I was listening to a really interesting podcast the other day about people who are suffering from Lyme disease. And, they have all of these mystery symptoms. And it turns out that a huge number of people don't necessarily have Lyme, but suffer from mystery symptoms. And they can never really figure out what is wrong with them. Just across the board, kind of talking about health in general. And it's really a big problem, because you go to your doctor and you say, I'm sluggish, I'm getting headaches, I just don't feel like myself, and that can be a symptom of so many things. And your doctor just says, well, I don't know what to tell you, and they send you on your way. And, we live in a time where that is really not acceptable. You know what I mean? And so many people that I know have become their own health advocates and have really kind of gone down their own path to become well again.
I love that. Very cool. And as an entrepreneur, I'm one myself, there is a lot of hardships along the way. You said you failed your previous business. What do you think are some of the biggest challenges you faced in, starting Love Wellness?
Sure. I think when I first started the business, there were not many new companies in this space. There was Thinx, which is a rad company. There was Lola Tampons. And apart from that, not a ton. And we call it femtech, and more companies are started every day. And it's so cool to see women bringing women the products that they know that they want and need. You know what I mean? Instead of people guessing in some corporate boardroom about the wants and needs of women. And so when I first launched the business, people were still pretty uncomfortable to talk about it. And most of the press that we got was like, can you believe this? This girl that was on TV is starting this kind of company. And so I think in a lot of ways, that was our first real initial hurdle, was to be like, this is for real. You should take this seriously, because a lot of people do take this seriously. That was definitely a difficult hurdle at first. And I think what I really have learned as a business owner is that when you decide to do something like this, and then you start bringing on partners and hiring people and having consultants and having clients and all these people that are helping you grow your business, you really become the mama hen that really needs to learn how to keep their, I'm not going to say a bad word, but really keep your stuff together. And I'm somebody that, by nature, I'm pretty laid back. I'm pretty calm. I can kind of see the whole playing field to a certain degree. And I have had to learn how to deal with stress and problems that pop up in a way that doesn't freak out other people. Like I wake up with...
Stay calm.
Stay calm. I wake up with a certain amount of stress every morning, because I know the stuff that needs to be done. But I will definitely say I put out a lot of fires every day. Mm-hmm. And it really falls on my shoulders to be kind of, the steady one more than anybody else. Because if people see you freak out, they're
Totally.
going to freak out.
Yep. That's a great advice. Great advice for like if anyone's here as an entrepreneur or looking to start your own business and you're hiring. Do you have any other tips for entrepreneurs starting out their own business?
Yeah, I also think this is another lesson that I've learned. When bad stuff happens, tomorrow will always come. Unless you literally get hit by a bus and like you die. Tomorrow will always come and you can always solve the problem. And so if something is really going wrong, I would just implore you to remember that it's not the end of the world, and the stress that you're feeling typically gets worse because of your own brain and your own thought process. I'm somebody that has a brain that goes like a hamster wheel, and I've really had to learn over the past couple years how to put things into perspective and to realize that, like, okay, this vendor is not going to get this product in time, and how do I solve this problem instead of allowing myself to be consumed by stress and emotion, because that just makes it worse, and you're not doing yourself any favors by allowing yourself to melt over things that really can be solved.
Yeah. My life motto is don't sweat the small stuff.
That's
kind
good.
of the same thing.
It's definitely that.
Because, yeah, it will pass.
Yeah, I try not to even sweat the big stuff anymore.
Don't sweat anything. Cool. So also, as a girl born and raised in the OC, I'm sure you have many memories of Fashion Island.
I do.
Do you have one in like specifically, or a story or a memory that you have here that you can share with everyone? We love asking locals.
Yeah. So I've spent so much time here. Oh my gosh. The mall has changed since I first started coming. It's always been really fancy and nice, right? I was talking to some of the girls earlier. There was this pet store here one time. Not one time. There used to be this pet store here. And I don't know if it still is here, but they actually had dogs. And me and my siblings would just go to the pet store and just, really wish for a dog one day. Anyway, it's just a nice memory that I have of me and my siblings spending time here.
Aw,
That
that's
poor
so
pet
cute.
store. Rescue your dogs. Please don't shop for dogs. But
Yeah.
as a kid, we always would run to the pet store first.
Well, they have the cutest ones in the window always.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite fashion, beauty, any sort of store that you love here that you always shop?
Yeah. Well, now I love Neiman Marcus. Growing up, we used to spend a lot of time at Macy's on the other side of the mall. And yeah, I mean, this is where we really came to shop, honestly. And we would just go to these big department stores because it was really all that we had back then. None of these stores were here.
Oh, wow.
When I was growing up. I mean, these physical buildings were here, but they were not these,
Different
fancy brands. St. John was not here. I don't think.
Oh, I love it. Moving on up, Fashion Island.
Fancy town now.
Very cool. Is there anything else that you want to share about your journey or about anything before we start into Q&A?
I just think it's really fun to be here in my neighboring hometown. I spent so much time in Newport growing up, and it really has a special place in my heart. I live in New York, but I kind of consider myself to be bicoastal between Laguna and New York. I went to UCLA. I've lived in LA. I've spent a lot of time in LA in the past year. But home is where the heart is, man. Truly, that's how I feel about Orange County. I really love it, and I have, as more time goes by in my life, I have a stronger appreciation for where I'm from, and my family's here still, so I really love it.
I agree. Every time I come down here, because I live in LA, I call my husband, I'm like, can we move to Orange County? It's so nice. It's so beautiful. It's so chill. It's so different from LA.
It's very different, yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too.
Cool. Well, thank you for being here, Lo. We're going to take some questions. I'm sure you guys have questions in the audience.
I hope for one question. There's one. Oh, I think we're bringing you a microphone. This is so pretty.
Hi, Lo.
Hi.
My question, I've gone down the same route. I have something going on that my doctors cannot diagnose.
Yeah.
So when you started looking for what was wrong with you, where did you go?
All kinds of experts. Just, like general practitioners, homeopaths, acupuncturists, therapists, a lot of yoga, healers. And really, the person that really helped me identify what was truly wrong was just my general practitioner, honestly, at the end of the day. But I will say that all of those journeys and all of those people I met helped me in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Because when you're not well, there's a huge mental element to it. And learning how to take care of yourself, even if you can't identify exactly what's wrong, I think can help you at least maintain yourself until you sort of reach that point. You know what I mean? But I think for lots of different people, there are lots of different answers, you know, and I think that there's so much interesting science happening, especially with genetic research these days. They think that, you know, in the future, or even the very near future, medicine is going to become so personalized based on your genes. And so something that was really beneficial to me is I was just curious about it. I wanted to know where my family came from. So I did 23andMe, you know, you spit into the cup. And what's cool about 23andMe is that, yeah, you can see where you're from, but you can also download your raw genetic data. And that's where I got my genetic data from. And then I brought it to my doctor. They upload it into these different websites, and then they can read where your mutations are. And you can have a really good sense of, you know, something that might be causing you to be sick. And that's how sort of it was tied together for me with finding out that my body can't digest these certain types of vitamins. So hopefully that helps. It was interesting. Yeah. Oh, there's one. Yeah, right? Yeah. Hey.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Kimberly.
Hi, Kim.
You were talking about how, and right when you said that, I concurred with you because I have the same issue where I'm constantly thinking and I stress myself out completely.
Yeah.
And I don't like other people stressing me out because I already know that I'm going to stress myself out. So I know you were talking about it, but can you elaborate a little bit more on what you do to kind of tell yourself, hey, let's slow down a bit?
Yeah, totally. So there is sort of a saying that I learned from a great psychologist. And for me, like when you suffer from anxiety, you're always worrying about the things that are not real, right? The things that have not happened, the things that have not come to pass, the things that might never happen. You're just dreaming them up in your mind. And so he taught me this saying, what is, not what if. Because when you're thinking and you're ideating, you're always what ifing instead of being present in the moment. Like right now, what is, I'm sitting on this couch and I'm talking to you. And so I'm safe. I'm okay right here. Nothing bad is happening to me. I'm not dealing with those 27 emails or that thing that I'm worried about. So if you try to remind yourself of that, of what is instead of what if, I have found that to be really beneficial in my life. That's just one thing. I mean, there's lots of different techniques, but that's a good starting point, I think.
Thanks.
That was a good question. Oh, there's a question. Yay, more questions.
Hi, I'm Jenna.
Hi, Jenna.
I've been a fan of you for a while.
Oh, thank you.
You said that you are hiring.
Yeah.
Yeah? How can I apply?
Do you live in New York?
No, but I actually want to relocate. So I'd be open to it.
Well, I could give you my email afterwards. How about that?
Sounds
And
good.
We could talk on email.
Okay.
Okay. I'm surprised. Caught me off guard. Anybody else? Are we calling it a day? Oh, this nice lady in the front.
Thank you. Hello. Thanks for being here.
Hi. You look so familiar, and I don't know
Maybe.
why.
Well, I live in Laguna, but I'm way older than you.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing your story. And one thing I've noticed, I've been a big fan of you back in the day from the
Oh,
hills
thanks.
and everything. You're really well spoken, and I'm friends with you on Instagram,
Oh.
and you're articulate. And I'm curious in what you do. Have you ever gone to Toastmasters, or have you ever honed in on your public speaking skills and doing these things? Do you still get nervous, or is it just second nature?
I think it's just genetic. My uncles and my dad actually have always worked in sales, and actually my uncle, my dad's brother wrote a best-selling book about how to speak publicly to groups of people. I have not read it, but it's just it's called Solution Selling. It was like in the 90s. But yeah, you know, my dad has always been a sales leader and is just really comfortable as a public speaker, and I think I just inherited that. But I also have been doing stuff like this for more than a decade, and so it doesn't make me nervous. It makes me more nervous to have to meet a stranger like one-on-one at a party than to do this, honestly.
Interesting.
So I'm sure that there are ways that you can become a good public speaker or more articulate, but I don't know. This is just me, I suppose.
Well, great. You do a good job.
Thanks. Okay, guys. Questions? Sorry, I'm taking your job. Like anybody else? Okay, I'll wrap it up since I have the microphone. No, just kidding. Sarah can wrap it up.
All right. Well, thank you so much, you guys. Shopping parties have begun. Almost every store here has a sale happening or something fun going on in their store. So stick around, go shopping so we can continue to do this event every year and bring us back. Thank you, Lo, for being here today. And thank you, everyone. I hope you guys had a great day.